hi,
Hi.
Schnookers. Two Schnooker fans.
Well,
We've had
you
like
schnookheads.
you Schnookheads.
Good morning, schnookheads.
Welcome to the show where we talk about what we want. Hashtag today is movies. Well, we only talk about movies. Today we'll be talking about a movie that Scotty just recommended to me with Jake Gyllenhaal,
Okay,
Nocturnal Animals.
you
Do
were
you not
sending
see the
me
resemblance?
you were sending me pictures of the gazelle. Were you saying that they look alike, or that he looks
I
like a gazelle?
paused the video at one point towards the end of Nocturnal Animals, and I got a big
Gazelle vibes.
gazelle vibes. Or what's the other gazelle?
Antelope.
Antelope.
More like a cantaloupe if you pick
All
it
right,
up.
so we watched Nocturnal Animals. When did you watch it?
I watched it for the first time Saturday. I think Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, I just got a hankering. I saw the movie when it first. I didn't actually. I saw the trailers and stuff, and people were talking about it back in like 2016, which was a great year for movie. But
Was it really? It
oh
was.
yeah,
That was Whiplash and all that stuff, right?
it was like if you go back and like look through all the good 2016 movies, like you'll see there's a lot
You'll
like in
see
that year.
Avatar.
Avatar 2,
Yeah, Avatar.
Revenge of the fucking Avatar.
You got the fucking Dunkin' Donut documentary. Hey, let me get a, what is it?
A
Small dog.
Dunkin'.
Two powder, two sugars. I don't know.
I get a Crulla, a tall doc, 3
Yeah,
parliaments, take a big dump.
let me get a tall dark, two sugars, and a powdered donut.
My dog wants me to play ball with him now
Do not play ball with Jack right now. We're
during the
mid.
podcast.
Yeah, please don't play with your dog.
He demands it.
No. All right, I wrote notes.
All right,
So I'm coming to this podcast.
let's start with the first note.
My first note is they used every redhead in showbiz. Okay, so there's a part. Okay, this whole podcast is going to be spoilers. We don't care about what, you've seen. This is
Fuck
about
you.
us.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. How dare you?
You see my Shaft vinyl in the back?
No.
All right. Well, in the film, let's talk about the premise.
What's the premise, Angela?
Well, Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams used to be married, and they were divorced because Amy Adams cheats on Jake Gyllenhaal. The film is the book that Jake Gyllenhaal writes while Amy Adams is reflecting on their relationship and the overlapping of the two stories going at the same time. And the story by itself, the novel, is a great story. Interesting. And then you have their breakup. It's a revenge tale. It's about pain. It's the difference between types of artists and just breakups and marriage and life and regret. And it's great. There's a lot of great heavy themes that come with it. It's very, I wrote this note, very art. Capital A-R-T. This movie is just very art.
So did you see who the director was?
No.
Tom Ford,
I saw it was Tom Ford actually at the end.
the stylist.
Why do I care?
He's a fashion designer. First and foremost, he's a fashion designer. Like he's super famous in the fashion world. There's Jay-Z has a song. I rock Tom Ford. Because he rocks Tom Ford.
Who wrote this film?
I don't know. It's based on a book.
Okay.
And so it's a book. But I think the book might also be a book within a book. I don't
A
not
book
100.
within a book.
There's too many books.
Gobblegook. All right. Yeah, okay. So the two most famous redheads in showbiz, Amy Adams, and what's the other girl's name?
Isla Fisher.
Isla
Isla
Fisher.
Fisher?
Isla Fisher.
I don't know.
She's in Hot Rod.
Is Hot Rod. Dude.
She is the Hot Rod. But Amy Adams is obviously more successful. That's why she has the lead role in this, which I thought was funny too. It was like the perfect casting and what
right.
they're
Yeah, everyone thinks they look
typecast
exactly
as.
the same. And now you have them basically kind of playing the same character. one is like a representation of the other,
Yeah,
for sure.
which is Tom Ford must have seen it.
Tom Ford he's got his finger on the pulse of the nation.
Of the redheads. And then the daughter, she looks like she was on like Jesse or Good Luck Charlie or something, whatever. How'd you feel about that? I mean, at what point were you starting to catch on? Because there's like half of this movie, you're just like, is it connected? Is it not connected? Why is she so impacted by this book when there's like was she murdered? Did they commit a murder? Like
Yeah,
what
yeah. So when
is
I was
happening?
reading it, when I was watching it, I thought in a lot more shallow kind of movie, it would have been like, oh, she's reading the book, but like they were the same thing happened to them, but obviously she wasn't murdered.
So like they were either the hillbillies or something.
Or I was thinking more like they had gotten away and it was like based on just a traumatic experience or whatever. But it's all fictional. The whole story is not, none of it happened.
It was a
They
symbol of
weren't
his artistic abilities and his way to transcend pain through fiction and art and his
Mhm.
talent. And she never believed in him. And it was just the biggest and greatest movie to say fuck you.
Yeah, and
It was
so that was
so good.
definitely one of the most interesting parts is how he used the experience that they're exploring in like the outer shell of the movie, the actual thing he experienced, and how it was reflected emotionally within the writing that he created.
Hmm.
So it was really interesting to see how those two were similar. Like when you found out at the end, spoilers. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, great. You find out at the end that she had aborted their child,
Hmm.
and
That
did you
was a
hear that?
death.
Did you hear that one?
Did you hear that?
My boss has decided I need to know a bunch of shit at 7 o'clock, so I'm getting
No, I'm not hearing the dings. There's no
notifications.
ding.
Sorry, it's okay.
But yes, the death
Anyways,
in his novel, the the character, the wife and the daughter of the main character, who is Jake Gyllenhaal, his name is Edward.
mhm,
They are raped and killed by a group of hillbillies, and that was supposed to be a symbol of Amy Adams's abortion and her cheating on him and having sex with another man, and that breaking his heart and him coping with the breakup similar to a death.
yeah,
It's like how breakups feel like coping with a death, and how she killed him in a way.
hmm
It made him feel like he was dead,
hmm
that he's weak. But the fact that he killed the hillbillies at the end was
yeah. That so when at that point it's like
it's a revenge story in
it's
that sense.
him getting the revenge.
Hmm.
You know, him getting that satisfaction of getting back.
Through storytelling, which
Right, but at the
through
same,
his abilities to tell a story. I'm strong because you didn't believe me, and he put it in the novel. It was just
yeah,
genius. It's genius.
and how he stands her up on their little like reunion date as a sort of like it's interesting to see how like it's such a dramatic over, it's like there's a lot of movies that are like that, revenge movies, but they're all, not a lot of people go through something similar to that, but a lot of people find those realistic ways of getting revenge, and the emotional quality of it you might not feel just seeing someone get left at, getting stood up by an ex, but compared to the him getting revenge and killing those people, you feel that a lot more viscerally, and that's the amount of potency that is inside of Jake Gyllenhaal's emotions coming
Hmm.
out through the novel itself. So it's so funny. It's such a dark, twisted story within a story, but the story on top of that is really tame and civil.
Yeah, it's if you take a step back from the cinematics,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a guy wrote a book about his wife, about something It's just a lady reading a book and being upset about
That's
cheating on her husband. Like,
I thought
she
that was
shouldn't have
funny.
cheated.
Like if you ever seen those little challenges that are like describe a movie but poorly, and I'd be like, it's just a bitch reading a book the whole
Yeah, she just reading a
time.
book because she cheated.
She reads a book and then goes and sits at a table alone.
There's a movie I just watched called Death Trap. It's from the 80s, I think. And it kind of has that same premise of kind of like a script within a script. Like you're watching, it's like an Inception script writing
Yeah.
murder mystery. Have you heard of that movie or play?
No, but the movie adaptation, Charlie Kaufman is writing the movie that you're watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that. And then the end is like, it's just all intertwined and you're like, whoa, it's really fun. Those movies are so fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I
I
think,
love those.
and it's funny because when you take a film class, one of the rules, at least in the books that I read, it was like, for rule one about student filmmaking is you never make a film about making a film. And those are some of my favorite films to watch.
Yeah. I
Because
just
you get it.
the thing is you should never ever do it, and then if someone does do it and it's good, then it's like cool. You know?
You did
Like
it.
you
But
did
it's
it.
not usually like someone making a movie, it's about a script.
Yeah, yeah.
Really not like, oh, the boom is in the shot. Those movies are probably like Disaster Artist or whatever. Like, that's hard to do. You got to be funny. But if you're just like writing a script about a script and then it all is kind of ironic and clever,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
Yeah.
And I was real intrigued by the big her being an artist curve. I want to know why that was a thing. Why do you think they made her an artist?
So I think
Like a stuck up, real mainstream plastic surgeon, not passionate, shitty
yeah,
artist.
it's shallow. She is incredibly shallow person. And Jake Gyllenhaal, his character is a lot deeper, just a deeper person.
Mm.
And it's not like he necessarily made high art. It's a revenge murder story.
It's
Like
a very basic story.
we've seen that story before. I think that's Edge of Darkness. I saw a Kevin Bacon movie and a Mel Gibson movie with the same fucking plot.
With no
Like it's
layers.
the same. Mother, wife, and daughter killed. Get revenge on them. John Goodman's there instead of.
Someone dies at the end.
But like this time, it's because they have that more artistic, backing behind it. You can get Michael Shannon and Isla Fisher and Jake Gyllenhaal to be the actors in this kind of pulpy murder story, murder revenge type of thing, and it's done just so well. Like those scenes, God, when they took
Beautiful.
when they took the mother and daughter, that was just I loved that so much. Like I mean, it was gut wrenching. It was sorry. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear. No, I don't hear anything. I just hear
Sorry,
you. I
it's
don't hear
Jack
any
now.
background.
Jack wants my attention.
Dude, Jack can chill.
I'm gonna put him in the other room actually for a second.
He said Jack was bothering him. Can you hear a little bit?
Can you hear my YouTube video play?
Play it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What's in my ear?
I can't hear it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, those scenes of Jake Gyllenhaal's novel
Yeah.
are so good. Also, could we talk about Jake Gyllenhaal? Jake Gyllenhaal in general.
He's fucking killed it. Yeah.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Why is he not like he's not hot? I think that's what everyone's thinking, right? Everyone's thinking the same thing. That's so mean. See, I'm Amy Adams. I'm shallow in this moment. I apologize. But who would have thunk? He gave a badass performance.
Jake Gyllenhaal's the best, man. I think he's good in everything.
When he comes out of the shed after they kill, I think Lou is his name, he's screaming, "I should have done something." That was great. He's a great actor. And then Nightcrawler, I haven't seen it, but I know he's great in that too.
You haven't seen Nightcrawler? I thought we watched it together.
Well, we did not.
Oh, dude. if you have any doubt in Jake Gyllenhaal's like ability as an actor, Nightcrawler knocks this shit out of the water. Like Nightcrawler, he is an amazing character. Like legitimately fantastic. He loses himself. He stops being Jake Gyllenhaal. In this one, I thought it was good. I thought he's very talented, but I honestly there's an element to the character where he's supposed to be sort of very emotional, sensitive, and kind of weak. But like Jake Gyllenhaal's pretty muscular guy. He's kind of like a bigger dude. Like he's sitting on the bed. He's sitting on the.
No, I don't think he's muscular. I don't see him. I could see him being a sensitive, artistic type. He's not. He's not a big guy.
But like
He plays a good, sensitive, weak guy. I think he's better in this role than he is Prince of Persia.
I never seen Prince.
Me neither. I don't even know if he's in Prince of Persia, but I think it's
He
him.
might be. But anyways, I think I just. And then, I don't know. It bothers me. Remember that scene where he's naked, sitting on the bathtub?
Yeah, when he's all buff.
His side, he's all shredded.
Yeah, it was kind of like, where's the pudgy artist novelist?
He's a poet. Like, and I think that would have like, because oh man, when I was watching when they take the mother and daughter, I'm like pacing in the room, fantasizing
really?
about how I would attack him.
Oh my god!
Like I was like, I need to travel with a knife or something. Like I was my fatherly instincts took over, and I was like, you are not doing enough.
I would have the story kind of fell short for me in that moment because he was like, oh, you have a flat tire, and then he started driving like one little roll, and he was like, shit, I have a flat tire. I would have zoomed out of there so quick.
I mean, you probably couldn't, is the thing.
I probably have been driving on a flat tire for months, and I don't even know about it. What was I looking at? Prince of Persia. I don't see, like, if you're in danger of your life, I think your car can handle being on a flat tire for 3 seconds.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I thought his like tire was completely flat to the point where it was like shredded off, and then like he wouldn't have been able to outrun a car with working tires.
I feel like it would still be worth the try, but it is Jake Gyllenhaal and Prince of Persia. I didn't buy it. I saw the tire and it looked kind of fine. It wasn't like ragged enough to have it be believable. Small critique.
Here's the thing too. Like, it was bothering me. I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal is like the same kind of height and a similar build to Aaron Taylor Johnson. It wasn't like there was 3 guys there, but none of them were like particularly beefy. They didn't have guns. They didn't have knives. Like, it didn't come across that he was too weak and afraid to actually do something. It seemed like he was just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, maybe it's just a minor thing because
it's just a movie.
It's had to happen in order for the story to happen. But like, I was in my head, when I activated my like fight or flight response in empathy, I was like, there is a lot of little things you could be doing here.
What do you think? I have a new question. What? Sorry. Finish your thought.
That was it.
Okay. Do you think that the 3 people, because they're supposed to be the symbol of his weakness, all the powerful things to take his children and take his wife and child and kill them. Mm-hmm. What did the hillbillies symbolize? Is it all the evil in the world? Is it like, what is the trio? The working in 3. I feel like there might be a deeper symbol with all that. And my personal favorite character of the whole film was Officer.
Oh,
Andes?
The cop.
How do you pronounce his last name though?
I don't know.
Andes? It's Andes. Officer Andes. My favorite quote of the movie, I wrote this down. He says, I look into things around here. He's not a cop. I look into things here. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And then
but at the same time, like it's not necessarily supposed to be the highlight of the movie, is the thrillery elements. But
yeah. I just really liked his character. I thought he was so cool. He was very Western. He was just like pure. Maybe he symbolized God. Who
And that
was
was,
he?
I think that's what I was saying with the like how, because it's such a high art production, like
Hmm.
you have like these tropey characters, like there's so many, like the cop who's just I'm 2 days from retirement, you know, this, he's got cancer in the lung.
Yeah. Are you watching? Have you seen those trope videos on YouTube? Like the pixie girl trope or whatever.
I haven't, I don't know what
I
you're talking
wrote
about.
down in my notes, I said, tough, crazy motherfucking redneck trope.
Yeah.
What is the deal with rednecks just being like a trope in itself?
Yeah,
It's terrifying.
that's just scary.
That
Anyways,
is
you
scary.
asked about symbolism.
Sorry.
I would say, you know, I don't think he was going for like them being a direct comparison to like every little like aspect representing something. I think the murderers were like the parts of Amy Adams that decided to kill off the part of Amy Adams that Jake Gyllenhaal loved and abort the baby. I don't think there was anything significance to there being three of them. I mean, maybe in the writing process he did consider.
Isaac, are you gonna? I think they do have a symbol. I don't think it's necessarily now. I agree with what you're saying. Like the three, it may not symbolize like fear no evil, see no evil, hear no evil,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like the trio stuff. I think it does represent all things evil, all things bad with Amy Adams.
Mhm.
Maybe just as, you know, as
Yeah.
simple as hillbillies are scary sometimes and they could be bad. This is bad. And then the cop was just like all things good. Like he's truly for justice.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing if you did go the route of analyzing it like a pure it's like
Like,
what
oh
he,
brother, where art there? I was kind of like, is this like a oh brother, where art thou thing? Like, how deep should I go with his novel in the breakup process too? The
so yeah,
symbolism,
I would say like, yeah, how Oh Brother Where Art Thou is literally just uh
the
uh
Bible,
no, Ham the Odyssey.
the Odyssey, the Bible. I don't know. Right. The
Um
oh my
like
god.
just it like just literally the Odyssey. Like you take every element and character and then give it the little twist. Like I don't think it was necessarily like he wanted to tell the book within a book is a standard murder revenge story, and there's a lot of tropey elements within that, and within the movie we're we're getting that comparison more emotionally than by factor, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I don't know what the heck Michael Shannon is supposed to represent in that idea.
I guess he would be like the symbol of Jake Gyllenhaal stepping out. He is a symbol of him, I guess, his courage, if you really want to get into it.
Like I would say, if anything, I would call it like the book. Like his, because how he gets revenge is really
Mm.
with like the book to grab her attention and then tantalize her into going on a date, and like
Mm.
that aspect of it. But like again, I wouldn't say that was what was going on in the writing process, was making that comparison. I think it was just necessary to have, if you wanted that full revenge story, you needed certain elements like the cop that helps you out.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the story that he wrote as as basic as it was, and if his writing skills weren't as phenomenal as she may have thought, then maybe it wasn't such a deep book.
I think that's something interesting that I always think about when it comes to people that like, oh, they're going to become writers, they're going to become these like really deep they're very deep emotional sensitive people, and then they write a whole ass book, and often they get caught up trying to write a book about themselves, something that's very deep and very personal, but eventually they end up kind of writing something, if they do get successful, that is more
Predictable.
yeah, like I think, did you watch BoJack Horseman?
Dude, yes.
Did you remember how Diane ends up writing that teen book series? Like the it was at the last season.
I don't think I watched the last season.
You've got to watch the last season. But regardless,
Maybe I did.
Diane, yeah, she quits going for journalism and decides that she's going to write a book, and she's like super
Is that
writer.
where the last season leaves off? Is she's like, I'm going to write a book? Isn't she like in her own apartment and stuff?
No, she meets a new guy, a Buffalo. I want to say you
Yeah,
probably
yeah, I
haven't seen it.
see that. I have seen it. Maybe I'm
And she
halfway through.
gets on antidepressants,
I don't.
and she gains a lot of weight.
Okay, no, I haven't seen the weight gain. I think I've
Okay.
seen her with the buffalo because they worked together before at that journalism thing. Because they would go out and make reports around as they worked for the teen magazine. It's a magazine. She's not writing a book with him. The buffalo was like they go out and they're like writing articles together,
No.
and then they both like commit and they're like in a relationship, and then they decide to work together.
No, I don't think so. No.
I think I'm right.
No, I don't think so. Because what happens is Diane, she's living with the guy. She stops working, and she just spends all her time focusing on her writing. They live in like Chicago. And he does whatever. I think he's like a bar owner or something. Um, and he's got a kid. I'm going to say you don't know.
Okay. Well, on that note, Diane is writing a book that's very predictable and just like, oh, I'm a struggling woman. I'm a teen in the world.
No, she's trying to write a very deep novel about all of her struggles in life and like her childhood and upbringing, and she's trying to make it very personal and raw. And what she ends up doing is she just kind of like just starts writing with more like pleasure and fun in mind, and then she ends up writing this teen detective, mall detective, solving mall crimes. And it's not like, it's not nocturnal, it's not like a deep art, like you pick it apart. It's something that's made for a younger audience. But what ends up happening is she's got all this passion for it out of nowhere, and she's kind of like disgusted with herself because it's like it's just trash. But then she starts meeting the kids that are reading it as it becomes more popular, and she had inserted like there's more emotional problems, and then the kids are like, oh, when her dad said that he didn't believe in her, like, and she said that you should never give up yourself, do you think that's really true? And it's just like, yeah,
oh my God.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not really related to this discussion of Nocturnal Animals.
But it is. It's the power of writing. And so just like how you can connect to an audience and transform, I guess that's like art, like how you can relate to something that someone makes. Not necessarily the whole theme of Nocturnal Animals, but it's sort of like the discussion of the purpose of art is to filter out human experiences in a fun fictional way. And that's what Diane does. And she wanted to be more like a high art, but she turned out to be more pop art.
And I guess you could kind of like make that comparison between like Jake Gyllenhaal. He's making something that is more like it's pretty obvious what it's about. It's not a deep thinker, but it lends itself to emotional engagement. But Amy Adams's art is empty and meaningless and superficial,
very MoMA.
Yeah, all super MoMA. Trash. Like I love that every piece of art was like trash.
Disgusting.
like the
revenge. Like it's so
yeah, that's
plain
so
and not
cringe.
thoughtful. And
Yeah,
here's Nocturnal Animals at her doorstep just slapping her in the face.
yeah.
But didn't she say that at the beginning? Didn't she know she didn't really want to do this and tell him, like, I'm not an artist, that's why I dropped out. And he was motivating her to be something that she didn't really want to be, and she's not happy. And so it's kind of like they make her out to be some antagonist because she cheated and had the abortion, but she was kind of finding herself and was on a good track until she got with this guy. Her mom said that she'll regret it, which I think in a way is also a layer on top because she said like, "Oh, I dropped out of art school because I don't really feel like I have that thing
hmm
that Jake Gyllenhaal has." And he
hmm
was like, "You could do it because he may not understand what it's like to not be an artist because he is."
right.
So I think her
But
theme,
she had already moved on.
she's so
It's like
empty.
she's just like I'm, and like she decided I'm just gonna ride that emptiness to success. And if you're not interested in success, like what are you gonna do? Just like work in a bookstore and write a book? Are you serious? And like
Well,
I
that's
was
what
like,
she was going to do. She was going to go, I think she's getting her master's in art history. And to me,
"Mhm,
I think of like, okay, she's going to be a teacher. She was kind of on her way to be like, okay, you're not going to be an artist. You're just going to go and teach or work in an art museum.
yeah,
Like, that's fucked up because that's an honorable profession.
yeah,
But
hmm
she was belittling Jake because of her own insecurities.
yeah," because
So
of the way she was raised.
she's very insecure. Her art is insecure. And the beginning with the naked ladies.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
I guess
Yeah,
her shallow, her insecurity, and like all the people watching, they're all thin and gaudy jewelry and
yeah,
high fashion and stuck up and plastic surgery and my husband's gay. It's okay, we love each other. What a
yeah.
life.
It's a loveless relationship. So, like with the naked lady thing, I number one, it is eye catching. It is
I've
memorable.
never seen so many bigger naked women before. Honestly, I was
Well,
kind of like, wow, this is kind of interesting. If I
yeah,
saw that, I would be like, oh, this is something to look at.
yeah, and that was like her biggest accomplishment.
naked, naked, bigger
But do you get
ladies,
it?
naked.
Because they're not your normal beautiful nudity, but so you're not comfortable with nudity. You're just comfortable with like it's. You can have the conversation in like 3 sentences about what that's about. You
Body
know?
palsy, America,
Sure,
obese, McDonald's,
sure.
Mutu
And like
Mutu.
it's just to
What's
be
his name
looked
from
at.
Zoolander?
It's all a big racket. Mugatu.
Mugatu. Yeah, and then her friend, the gay guy, was like, we're all. It's a very interesting discussion on artists.
Mhm.
And where do you feel you fall in that line?
I think there's some value to what Amy Adams does. I just think that it's not made for the actual value that they might be exploring. Like there's something to big minimalist in your face like type of stuff. There's some
Mm.
meaning to it. However, the reason that they have such expensive clothing and an insanely rich office is because they sell a piece of paper with like
For
a
$10,000.
for $10 million, $15
I
million
was gonna say
just
million
to
actually.
some rich guy that is going to write it off on his taxes, so he doesn't have to pay that money to the government. But it's filtered back to him through his friends. Like that's how the modern art installation works. It's not. It's just they took
It's not
a
passion.
once they got a
Well,
tax write off. It's like
well, that's a great business for Amy Adams. I
yeah,
mean,
because she's
it's
shallow,
business. It's what it is.
but it's also art.
But I think it's exactly. It's like the discussion between. I wrote this down. Jake Gyllenhaal. They're both artists. You can't deny that they both are in art,
Right.
artistry, writing, photography,
hmm
videography, whatever. But I think it was two artists in a relationship.
hmm
It was a sentimental artist with
hmm
a rebellious artist.
hmm
So I think him being kind of hometown in a cabin,
Yeah.
fire, I'm going to write a wholesome story. I'm passionate. I'm an artist.
Mhm.
She was passionate, but she was more black and white, New York, rebel
Mhm.
against my mom,
Yeah.
being kicked out of having my brother being kicked out of the house. Like she had anger and she was in like the chic world,
Yeah.
and they're both artists. You can't
Right.
deny that they're both artists, but they
Right.
didn't really click. And so,
And I think so the choice of Amy Adams to throw Jake Gyllenhaal and his version of art away because it's not profitable, it's not famous. It really hurt him, and then the revenge story is also partially like, look what my version of art is. Look what this can do.
mm,
Look how much this can hurt you. Your art can't touch me. What you did with your art hurt me, but I'm untouchable now. Look what I can do to you with this novel. I can make
mhm.
you like I can consume your mind to the point where you step over a boundary you wouldn't have gone over without it, and then I can leave you in the dust. And
Is good.
it's so there's that. You could take that to an even deeper level about uh Tom Ford is a fashion designer.
Mhm.
He makes art.
Amy Adams is
He's
world.
Amy Adams. I mean, he's clearly. Have you seen A Single Man?
No.
Another good one. Tom Ford's another banger movie.
Well, I guess he's more than just a fashion designer. He must be. I mean, he's a fabulous
He's
director,
he's one of those do every
multi-talented. Yeah.
those annoying fuckers.
Hey, now, Amy.
I made a cup and it's like the best cup you've ever used. It's like fuck you. You're not
Oh.
that
Hey, it's a fork and a helicopter.
guy. Yeah. So
That's all, folks.
there's a lot of great themes to it, and like so you can take it on that superficial level of it's just someone being put through an emotional thing as a point of revenge, or you could look at it as warring intentions of art in people's emotions. There's a lot to it. It's fun.
Let me go down the notes that I wrote
All right.
because we kind of hit some of them.
I imagine this will be mostly like the technical little stuff.
It's very little stuff. It's 2
Yeah,
words.
it's cool.
My process is throughout the film. I said, uh, Jake Gyllenhaal? Question mark. So good, but how? Because he's kind of not an A-lister, but he totally is. He kind of is under the radar. We already talked about
He
this.
is your uh I think the term is twink turned dad. He came off as like a cutie, and
Is that a term?
twink turned twink turned dad.
Okay, I
Basic,
get it.
but like
I get it.
like there's Leo, and there's a lot of like started
Mhm.
off being like cute
Uh,
mainstream boys,
Skinny boy.
and then he transitioned into like, okay, now that I have some control, I'm gonna do movies that actually interest me.
I'm gonna eat a lot of steak and greens, beef up, dad up, and I'm gonna show these bitches how to act.
Yeah,
And he did.
so yeah, and he did a great job. And there's a lot of great actors that go that route. They start off like, for Christian Bale, he started off doing like
Mm,
little movies, and he was the cute kid, and then he starts doing these really avant-garde. You seen the Machinist, where he loses
no.
all that weight, and then it's like
Yeah.
it's actor flexing. Jared Leto tried it and kind of failed. Jake Gyllenhaal has done it and done it very well. I've never seen him in something where I think he does a bad job because he was given a poor script. I always think
He's a sure shooter. He just has such bold, distinctive features. It's hard to cast him in, I would say, if I was in a casting perspective, because in that world, I mean, the acting world, you have to look apart.
Mhm.
And I don't know what part he really fits into.
I,
Because there's always a bit of like with Jake Gyllenhaal, there's like a sprinkle of like uncomfortableness. Does that make
yeah, no, I
sense?
get it. I get it. I
He's
get
not bad looking.
it.
He's
No,
not. He's handsome. He's fit. He's just like not someone you usually see as a lead in a movie.
no.
He's not a
Um,
Brando. He's not a Leo. He's not a Brad Pitt. He's not a Tom Cruise type. He's like a more of a supporting actor look or a comedic
yes,
actor.
he's a character actor. He's good. Like him and his persona that he presents is not exactly enough to keep you interested. But if he's given a good character, if he's given someone that actually has a little depth to them and is he can lose himself in, he's an excellent actor.
I
He's
would say
fantastic.
in Nocturnal Animals, he's more of a straight man than anything,
Yeah, which is weird for him.
but
And I
he
don't
did a
know.
great job.
I think he's a great actor. He couldn't. He did a fantastic job. But I'd say I wouldn't go with him.
Gyllenhaal.
I would say, yeah, I would go with someone who is visually, the second you see them, you're like, that's a very sensitive person.
hmm
Like, I mean, not.
Michael Sarah.
I was gonna say not Michael Sarah. Like,
Ah!
I he wouldn't. I couldn't make that work in my head without being funny. Um, don't take
Mm,
my wife. So
sensitive. Well, that's for the casting directors.
yeah, that's it.
But I
But
think I could see a lot of other people playing that part, not just Jake Gyllenhaal. I think because it was Jake Gyllenhaal, such a surprise, seeing him do so well is a surprise. If it was Brad Pitt in that part and he did good, I wouldn't even be talking about it because it would just be like, okay, he was crying at one scene and he was passionate about his family. Big whoop. Brad Pitt can do that.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'd be like Brad Pitt. He
Well, he's
definitely
not the weak type.
he comes across as like being able to kick some ass. Like that's how he does come off as like he's been cast in a lot of movies where he fights.
Well, I
Jake
guess more
Gyllenhaal's
of
not
a
a
plain
fighter.
look, like a plain looking guy. Jake Gyllenhaal isn't plain looking to me.
I think you've been missing out on some of the good Gyllenhaals, man.
I
I think
think I have too.
you gotta brush up on your Gyllenhaal because
Something about Gyllenhaal just does not click for me.
that's interesting because I think he's one of the best working actur alive. I
Now,
think he's
I'm not saying he's not a good actor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying his
I'm
features are
saying he's one
very.
of the best.
Well, look at us saying things. Guess what I saw today? Guess what I saw today?
What did you see?
Everything I looked at. That's a bad joke. Okay. I said, "What's her obsession with big asses?" That's
Who's
it. I think we already answered that question though. Amy
wait?
Adams, like she has like a picture of a big ass behind her. It was just one picture and I wrote that down in my notes. I don't think we need to talk about it.
I don't remember any big asses, but that's fine.
I put the baby monitor question mark. Do you remember that part? Just the detachment of being with your children and maybe the fact that she didn't have a baby. But wait a tick. Wait a tick.
Oh yeah, there was that. Oh yeah.
Remember when Amy Adams called her daughter or that girl at the dorm room naked with her boyfriend? And she said, "Mom, I'm like sleeping right now. I'll see you later."
Oh yeah.
Amy Adams has a child.
Must be with the other
Must
guy.
be with the other guy, I think.
Be pretty fucked up if it wasn't, and he just thought he didn't have a kid.
Yeah.
Be pretty fucked up. I
Well,
don't
I
think
think that kind of puts a layer on her fucked upness. Is if
so. I
she aborted the baby with him and then decided to have one with the new guy, or
before I knew what happened, I thought what that read as to me was the movie telling you, but but that didn't really happen. Like the child's alive. Like there was no like it was letting
abortion.
you know that that book is 100% fictional
hmm
or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know. There was a weird.
It was weird. It was like I have a grown child, like she was a woman, and Amy Adams doesn't look that old. And then it was like, I don't even believe in abortions, and I did this to his baby. So it's either she was thinking about it and she confided in the new guy and was just talking in the car and maybe didn't get the abortion,
Yeah,
or were they at the abortion clinic
I
and
think
Jake met her
it
there?
does hint that she said something like, "I feel bad. I regret it already." Um, and like I think it that does hint, and then I think it wouldn't exactly work out in the same way if she did have Jake Gyllenhaal's baby. I don't think that would have worked out in terms of her plan.
I agree. I think she had a baby with the new guy.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But damn, this is an old ass baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been a long time. She's
20
supposed to be
years?
really young. 20 years, I guess.
I don't buy it. That was the interesting part.
It's weird.
I feel like probably in the book, Amy Adams is older and Jake Gyllenhaal is older because they look so young. But you never see older Jake Gyllenhaal. It's always past Jake.
Yeah, maybe they would have aged him up a bit.
But that iconic stand-up scene stood her up. I love
Yeah.
that. I wanted him not to come. I was like,
Yeah.
don't you dare go.
Yeah.
And the email was so like, when and where.
Yeah.
He never showed up. That's it.
Almost like he knew how long it was going to take her to read the book so that it showed up right when she finished. He knew her reading time and schedule and reading speed.
It was just like such a good put the knife in her and twist it. It was just that was the theme of this movie. Another thing I said, very art. Oh, the baby monitor. We
right.
discussed that.
Yeah, I think what you just said right now is probably what's closest to it is like how that's the guilt of her killing their baby showing up with the murder.
Revenge. Here's my baby. Oh, you don't trust your nanny? Like she obviously was detached to her other child.
Yeah.
But when that part came up, I was like, huh?
Yeah, that was a little weird. But I guess in context, looking back, it does make sense.
Right.
When it happened, I was like, quoi?
Quoi? I said, I love a good diner scene. Anytime I see it perfectly set up, they're in a diner, they're talking about some good shit. It looks like every diner in every movie. I love a good diner scene.
Can we talk about Michael Shannon's performance? Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
That comic relief when he coughs the first time, right next to the car, he's like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And then he's like, are you good? Yeah, I'm fine. And then he keeps walking. I was like, that was so great. And then, you find out he has cancer, but at the time you think he's just like this kooky fictional character. It's so...
Michael Shannon knows how to make just kind of standing there, like sitting there with your face, really interesting.
And cool. He's cool. Always a cigarette in his hand.
Yeah.
I love the character work. I love the characters.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's like Trailer Park Boys. How what's his face always has a
drink in his
hand.
At all hours. That was super funny.
It just makes the character that much more likable.
Yeah.
He's such a lovable person too. Yeah. But he's so lonely. I love how so much could be said about a person in such little time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like there's something to the way Michael Shannon chose to like keep him very reserved and like non-expressive, but like you can also tell he's just in deep emotional pain a lot. And like how difficult that is to portray as an actor doing so much with so little. Like, it's much better than that kind of trope of a character I've seen in a movie before.
What else is Michael Shannon in? He looks like he is the exact perfect actor for a Western. For just any Western.
I want to say he's not in any other Westerns.
Because I can't imagine him not being in a Western. Like, how is he not the John Wayne of our generation? Or the guy from Big Lebowski at the end with the mustache.
Michael Shannon, he's in Shape of Water.
Is Michael Shannon the husband in Shape of Water?
The husband?
The, antagonist.
Yeah, he's the antagonist in Shape of Water.
Holy shit, that guy has some range.
Yeah. Let me see what else.
I don't like what I just said. I just cringed so hard at what I just said out loud.
He's got some fucking range. He does have range. He's in.
Doesn't have the range.
Did you see?
What did I see?
Knives Out.
Yes.
You saw Knives Out?
Yeah, I saw it at the drive-in. So good. That's a really good movie.
Well, Michael Shannon's in that too.
Who is Michael Shannon?
He's the guy with the cane. Yeah,
Did you see Knives Out?
yeah, yeah.
Oh
really
my
good.
god, he's the brother.
Yeah, yeah, dude. He's got range
He's
for days, dude.
Whoa, wait a second. This guy, I mean, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's amazing. I'm trying to
He's
see what
not
else
a
he might-
typecast, and that's really
No.
rare.
He's excellent. He also does. I think my favorite thing he's ever done though.
I
has
kind
to
of
be-
have a crush on Michael Shannon.
No, I 100%. You didn't see it because you're not on Twitter right now, but I tweeted "Good night" to Michael Shannon only.
He's so hot. He's so
great.
hot in this movie too, because he's all Western. And then the other one, he's kind of isn't he like kind of overweight with the cane and stuff? He's like more of like a.
He's actually really
Older.
skinny. He's like
I was just about to say he's really skinny.
I'm gonna send you a video to watch.
I'm
Of
sure.
him. Yeah, for sure. It's him. Do you remember I don't know if heard about this, but there was a really aggressive sorority letter that was sent out
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I know about that.
the video of the guy reading it really
Yeah.
dramatically.
Is that Michael Shannon?
That's Michael Shannon.
I know that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really that was really popular at the
Yeah.
time. It was like,
This
okay,
email's
bitches.
gonna be a tough fucking ride. He does it's so great.
So he's famous, getting good work.
He played General Zod in the Superman movies.
So he's in like a mainstreamy DC type.
Yeah, I think he's like if you're into movies to a certain extent, Michael Shannon.
So like, how did what was his claim to fame? What was like why did he read that? Like what got him to that level?
He's just a great character actor. He's been doing a lot for a long time.
He must come from theater. He must have done a lot of theater.
He's been
so
actively
good.
working since the 90s, just like multiple movies a year, always working.
I'm in love with him.
He's great. No, yeah, I think he's one of my favorite actors too.
Because I would have never in a million years made those connections that was the same actor.
Yeah.
Wow, he's
Mhm.
phenomenal. Since the 90s, he's been working. Well,
yeah. And like I just looked through his IMDb and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. These are all how many movies he does in a year. Like 5 movies a year. Yeah.
What are
Like,
some
he's-
of them that are? I mean, what else is he in?
Uh,
Any TV?
He's in Revolutionary Road. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Liar, have you?
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
But that's a Leo. That's a Leo movie. It's Leo and Kate Winslet again.
Again?
Yeah.
Get a job, you two. Go work at Juice It Up or something, which all you're good for. There's only so many ships that could sink, Leo.
And in that one, it's their marriage. Their marriage sinks in that one.
You know what? I have 2 movies that I will not watch that I probably am going to end up watching eventually, but against my will. I don't fucking want to watch A Marriage Story. I don't fucking want to watch Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't want to fucking watch those 2 movies.
Marriage Story is excellent.
Oh.
Well, it's just Oscar bait, though. But Marriage Story is, it's by the same director as Francis Ha.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know what killed it for me is their fighting scene.
So here's the thing.
I really didn't like that scene.
Let me tell you why that's actually a great scene. The whole movie, every single other part of that movie is done with this incredibly realistic acting style. They are unbelievably restrained. Like it is that super, like that guy directs. It's very subdued. It's
like
very,
Francis Ha.
Yeah, like that little look says it all, that kind of directing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just they're slowly building up and irritating each other. And it's, the frustration builds to like, all right, like that's really it. Is it just like very little teeny tiny,
Mm-hmm.
teeny tiny, and they just find little ways to pick at each other and pick at each other. And then it gets to the scene where they're like, we have to have a talk. And then they sit down in this room together, and it just explodes out like a geyser. And it's, to the point where the acting is theatrical and over dramatic, but in comparison with the rest of the movie, it was intentional. And then people took that scene out of context and they said, look at this over dramatic melodrama POS. And it was just like,
I bit the bait. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that looks awful. And I'm already kind of skeptical with Scarlett Johansson. She
does very well in the movie. She does very well.
Oh, now I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, no, you should. It's great. It's super good. Because like that movie is very different than the rest of the movie, and it's like that on purpose because it's smart directing. Marriage Story is great.
Well, thank you for letting me know, because I was kind of had a tarnished. I was just like, oh, it's gonna be freaking. But what's his face? Driver, man, Adam Driver, great actor. He does good stuff. So he's in some good stuff.
He's in Frances Ha too. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember. It's a roommate guy.
Yeah, and he's just a character, kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar acting style where it's subdued, simple. Oh man, there's a really good scene where Adam Driver and his buddies are in a bar, like after like the divorce has kind of already set in, and he's just depressed, and then they're in a bar, and they live in New York, I'm pretty sure, on Broadway, and he's a theater director. Just one of those guys that knows a whole bunch of shit about theater and is just a great theater director.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're at this bar, there's like a piano player there. It's a nice bar. And then he starts playing Being Alive from Company. And then he gets up to the mic and he just like sings the song, and like he's just letting his emotions out. He's like
Is he good? Can he sing it?
I mean, it's good. It's not like, Raul Esparza or anything, but it's like he's a good singer. He's got a good voice. But like he's doing it, but like you can tell he's just expressing his.
I feel like my relationship with the Marriage Story is gonna be like, when you say you don't like someone, like you're like, oh, I don't like them, and then you like meet them, and then you're like madly in love with them.
You're like, oh fuck, you're great the whole time.
I'm like, oh God, I always knew you were gonna get me.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what movie did you always joke about you wanted to watch, but you don't know if you're gonna watch it? You're like, I don't know. The Wrestler?
Oh, Rush.
Rush.
Like if I just liked Rush a lot when I saw it, it's actually really good.
You saw it?
No. I might.
I never want to let that down.
I'm never going to watch Rush ever, so don't worry about that being true.
When I buy my own apartment, I'm going to have a room dedicated to just like, I'm going to stack it full with like all Big Bang Theory.
all of our inside jokes.
Just all of our inside jokes.
Yeah.
Me and Scotty have an inside joke that I'm obsessed with Big Bang Theory, and I was trying to hide it from him. I don't know if we can explain it to him.
It was supposed to be a prank. You were trying to prank me by making me think that that you were secretly a Big Bang Theory fan. So you hid, like, you said you wanted to get like I forget what the first thing was, like. You were like in your search history that was the theme song, and I was like, why do you have this? And you're like, I don't know. And then you said I forget why you gave up on it. On that,
I would have to buy like a bunch of DVDs. I was gonna like have you walk in and like me like drop all the DVDs in front of you, or like I would like ship a poster to the house and like have to like crinkle it up and run to my room or something. Like I was gonna really run with it, but then I gave up. I was like, I don't have the money right now to pretend to be into the Big Bang Theory.
That's hilarious.
Write a screenplay inspired by Big Bang Theory.
Do a spec script.
Anyway, back to Uncut Gems. Just kidding. Back to Nocturnal Animals. Great gunshot. I thought that was a good little special effect. I don't know if you remember, but when they shot Lou, he was like running out. There's two guys inside of the shed. One guy runs out, which is like the guy with the longer hair, and he's taking a shit on the toilet naked. That guy gets away, and then the other friend gets shot. And they show him getting shot, and they show the blood, and he goes down. I just thought that was a good gunshot.
Yeah.
I wanted to note that. Great special effects with that. And then the tough, crazy motherfucking redneck trope. Rednecks are scary.
Yeah. I was thinking like, man, why would you drive through I think I think that is something that is legitimately like I am far more afraid to drive through Kentucky than like a high crime area like Compton or
Mhm.
something. Like I am a million times more afraid like cuz this thing is it's lawless out there. There's no like the odds of a cop driving by. Remember that one cop that drove by?
And it's one shed behind a mountain. Like,
Mhm.
no one's gonna come looking for you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're not going to be found. And like no one's going to odds
Like,
are you're
if
not going
you're
to
in,
get caught
like,
either.
New York and you get stabbed, like, the pigeon lady's gonna find you eventually.
Yeah.
But
You
if
go
you're
help.
out there, you're just dirt.
Yeah.
And just like,
Back to the mud.
um, okay, I would never be driving down a road and be egging people on. That's kind of in the beginning of Christmas Vacation too, where they're like, or there's probably so many movies like that, but that's the first one I think of is when like just guys like racing each other on a two-way road. I
Yeah.
just, why would you do that? Stupid.
Yeah. Um
Anyway, um,
but those guys were clearly out there looking for trouble.
just pure evil. It's just like, oh, ew.
Yeah, it's pure
Sorry for
it's
that.
pure
But he was like, "Go ahead, shoot me. Like, I don't care if you're gonna kill me. Like, if you're gonna call me a rapist, I'll be a rapist." Or what else did he say? Like, if you accuse me of cheating, I'm gonna go cheat.
that's the stupidest shit. I hate that. I hate that argument so much. People say that. Call me a cheater so much, you might as well go cheat. And
I
it's
know.
like,
Where are
well,
my other bitches? I'm gonna go. Oh, I guess I might as well do what you're accusing me of.
that's such a stupid excuse. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And it doesn't justify rape and murder for sure.
definitely. And I think that was really bad. Like the fact that he said it was fun to kill. That's bad.
Yeah. So like again, like it's not a very deep story within a story,
Hmm.
and without the context of the writer's experience. So
Yeah, the fun part about the movie was you're trying to figure out why she is so moved by this revenge tale novel. Who's
yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal in her real life? The breakup and the revenge is so sweet. And then her husband starts cheating on her and she knows, and it's just like it's hand fed to you, the revenge, because of
yeah,
that one freaking picture and the stand up. It's like, and then I looked it up
yeah.
online. I looked up the movie to see if I could find something just to like
Mm-hmm.
bring to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the things was like Nocturnal Animals. Oh, I looked up Nocturnal Animals beginning explained because I feel like I didn't quite understand until we started talking about the naked ladies in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, wait a second, what the fuck did that have to do with anything? But now I kind of understand.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was like Nocturnal Animals ending explained. Why the hell do you need the ending explained for you?
Yeah. I looked up ending explained too, but I it was pretty clear. It was very clear. I was like, okay, I know what
Mhm.
I'm doing. I just want to see what the
I
thoughts
just
are.
want to make sure.
And yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah,
Mhm.
it wasn't necessarily trying to be a puzzle. It's not that new Kaufman movie.
Yeah.
Jesus, did you see that?
What's it called?
I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh my god, no, but I want to.
Okay,
I mean,
if
I
you
saw the trailer and I was like, okay.
so it's like one of those things where it's like if you haven't seen it twice, you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I only saw it once, and then I was like, I don't really get it. I don't want to watch it again. And then I saw someone explain it, and I was like, oh, okay. Because
That's how I like to do it.
yeah, because the whole
I'm
thing, that whole movie. I'll tell you the thing is, it's better to know this going in my opinion. Like, who care? You're gonna watch it for the first time and be like, those are some themes. I don't understand what the narrative was, but those are some themes.
I've seen him film before.
And like I was just confused at the end. But basically, the story is you're inside the mind of an old man looking back on his life, and thinking about how he wish it had gone, basically. So he's like fantasizing about like, oh, if I could go back and if I had this girlfriend, or if I could have talked to that girl at the bar,
Hmm.
and like I had this girlfriend and like how it would go, and it doesn't go well in his head because he's got serious issues with self hatred. That's the whole
Okay.
like that's the
Uh,
whole. It's really good if you look at it like that, but I didn't look at it like that, and I was like,
yeah.
it's a 7 because it's fun. It's
I'll watch it. I
probably
like that
smarter than
stuff.
me.
It's just I'm kind of that's sad.
Yeah, I have
I'm
not been
gonna
in
be
the mood for sad
depressed.
stuff.
I'm not. Well, yeah, I'm in the mood for sad stuff. It's kind of just like that whole idea of looking back and regretting things is something that because I feel so powerless with COVID and everything going on in my life, it's just like I don't know if I want to watch a movie about regretting things that you
Yeah.
did in the past
Or
right now.
things that you didn't do.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm ready to, especially Kaufman. Like Kaufman, you think about it for a long time.
It sticks with you.
It's like,
I would say of all the Kaufmans, I think this one's my least favorite.
I just know with Synecdoche, New York, you're kind of like,
Saketki
you
fucks you
got to just
up,
take a
dude.
seat and like vomit and then just take a breath and be like, okay,
You got to get that shit out of you to
okay.
live life.
Yeah, you got to throw up the Kaufman.
Yeah, and then you can't. That's the thing with Kaufman is like it pours a bunch of bad feelings into you, and then like it forms a little nugget of like an amazing message.
And it's like, look at it, look at it.
So you got to throw it up, and then you got to take the message with you.
Remember when you threw up that KFC zinger I gave you?
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
know what you know what I found in there? I hope. I found hope in the zinger. I threw that up.
no, when the zinger. Okay, I feel like that concludes Nocturnal Animals. Do you have anything to add? Because I have an idea for. I mean, do you have anything to add to the movie?
Uh,
Okay, no. So, moving
yeah.
on. Next segment, we're going to say the movie that we're excited for to come out soon. What's something that has been on your mind that you're super excited to see? Or,
I have my obvious answer, which is obvious.
I don't know.
Dune. Dune.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Dune. 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 I'm excited.
When's it coming out? Dune, Timothy,
October.
Charlotte.
October. The best part so far is all we've seen is really the casting.
Yeah.
I've read the book. The casting is perfect. Like I can't think of any better casting. There's no part in it that isn't like perfectly figured out. I love it.
Have you seen
Like,
Call Me by Your Name?
yeah.
Do you like it?
I have some issues with it.
I was talking to someone and they said that they think it was better than Brokeback Mountain. Have you seen Brokeback Mountain?
No.
I haven't either.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I like Call Me by Your Name, but I think I have some issues with its message.
Mm.
Just like I I think it really it romanticizes a relationship which is in all honesty unhealthy. You've got this young boy, 17. He's an adult in a lot of ways, but a kid in a lot of ways. And this 27-year-old man, and the kid's like obsessed with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I skimmed some of the book, and like it's unhealthy, his obsession with him. It's obsessive version of love, and like they're striving to get even closer together, and like but at the same time it just ended up really hurting the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And what like I don't know if you've seen the book, the cover of the book. It's he's like curled up in a ball with his head in his between his knees,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's not it, and then the dad sits him down at the end, and he's like, you should be happy that you got that experience. And it was like, should you though? And that's a
I
weird
should
thing.
watch it.
It's a weird thing for your dad. Like if you had I don't know, your dad to bring home some person that's a lot older than your child, and comes in and fucks your child and gets your child all emotionally upset and hurt. I don't know.
Is that what happens?
That's what happens in the movie. Like the dad is a professor, and he brings one of his grad students who's like 27, and the kid is 17.
They have sex?
They fuck a lot. They're fucking nonstop in that shit.
Oh,
They're in Italy, so I guess it's cool. Italy.
okay.
But like legally, it's fine. And he's mature enough, I guess. But like, still, it didn't sit right with me. It could be my American prudishness, but I think that the book. I should probably read the book before I talk about it like that. But I think the book is probably something that is a bit more treating it as a bit of a
Like a
passionate,
tale of caution?
like a passionate obsessive kind of love that is more traumatic than enjoyable and good for you.
Mm,
And and then the movie, because it's a movie, it can't help but romanticize it
mm.
and try to make it like something beautiful, when actually it's something that's a bit more toxic than the movie expresses. But
Huh.
I haven't heard anyone else say that. Everyone seems fine. I'm a pretty straight guy, as
Well,
far as
maybe
I don't
you
really
just
know.
don't settle for love that is unhealthy anymore. That you found a love that is operational. And so maybe a lot of people are just stuck in like the toxicity and they think that that's normal. And
We watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind the other day.
Mhm.
You seen that?
Yeah.
And like their relationship isn't healthy, and the whole thing is like ending message is like they keep having to relearn that, like they know where their relationship is going to go, but they're going to choose to go down that path again anyways after like making up.
Mhm.
And you, back in 2004, I'd say that was really impactful, beautiful. But I think now it's like you guys need like relationship therapy. Like there's
Oh my goodness. Ah, so much to take in.
it's so I think definitely being in a healthy relationship now is it's tainting my view on romantic
Movies and such
movies.
about toxicity, the reasons that artists make art.
Like every romantic movie I liked before, which is rare. It's hard to get a good romantic movie because they're always garbage. But even
Heard
then,
it here.
I'm like, the thing is, if you have a good relationship, the drama shouldn't. A movie's worth of drama shouldn't be so integral, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I think yeah. So I don't know. But
Well, okay. Well, let's just judge on Timothy Chalamet's. Is that how you pronounce it? Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Chalamet's performance. You think it's gonna be promising for Dune?
I think it's gonna make him fucking
A
star.
star.
Like he's
Ugh.
already big. He's already big. But
He's big. He's the teen heartthrob. He's the
yeah,
guy.
yeah. But I think once it comes out, he will be as household a name as a Brad Pitt or a Leo. Like I think it'll do very well. I think it'll work its way into the pop culture conversations really easily because like Star Wars is based on it. Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
think what they said is I forget. I think a critic or something was like, Star Wars is a stripped down, simplified. It is, if you boil down everything from Dune to just its like pure skeleton and fibers, without all of the stuff that makes Dune really, really, really good. You get that's Star Wars.
I always knew Star Wars was trash. Just kidding.
It's just, it's a galactic empire, but
I'm
all
just
they do
kidding.
is show up, blow up a planet. Like in
dun, 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 dun.
yeah. And in Dune, like you see how far-reaching and epic and scary a galactic empire is. Like, oh, we
Spooky.
can send like an endless group of attackers.
Dude,
to come
if
fuck everything
Sting
up,
is in it, I'm scared.
I would be upset personally.
All right, Dune is coming. My movie that I picked that I'm excited is Barb and Star. Have
What
you
is
seen the
Barb
trailer
and
for that?
Star?
It's
No, I have
like
not.
It's with Kristen Wiig, I think, and then some other girl. And it's like a character best friend film, like a Romeo and Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
Mariel's wedding.
Barb
Uh,
and Star go to visit Del Mar.
Barb and Star going to visit Del Mar. They literally talk like that. Hi, Barb. Hi,
Sure.
Star. You need to watch a trailer. It is
I
so
will.
funny. I just bought the vinyl with Barbara Streisand and Barry Gibb that the little
What?
boy is singing. It's a song called Guilty by Barbara Streisand and Barry Gibb. It's in the trailer. And I've been obsessed with the trailer. I had to get the I had to get the record. It is my kind of movie. Now I like dramas. I love
Mhm.
Nocturnal Animals. Like I thought it was a great piece of art. But I'm also a sucker for a good comedy, cheesy
Mhm.
chick flick. Two best friends go to some island, flirt with hot boys, and get into shenanigans.
Ew, Ramon.
Ooh, Ramon.
The
I'm not alone. I'm with Mariel. That's from Mariel's wedding. I love a good best friend comedy.
yeah,
Step Brothers, even if it's boys, whatever.
yeah.
I think it's just
I
I'm
feel
so
like it,
excited.
it, it fits with a lot of those kind of like Romeo and Michelle, or
Bubblegum,
like
pop,
yeah,
Dixie, like just funny, like girls being girls, high heels shenanigans. That's
yeah,
so like a whole another side of me that I love where you're just like,
yeah,
come on, bitch.
yeah. It's fun.
I don't know, I said bitch. Sorry.
Yeah. You know,
Oh.
I've been. You know, something similar I've noticed with myself is like, I always have a special spot in my heart. Special spot in my heart. Special spot.
That a little we got a little Brooke. There's a spot in my god. I don't know.
Special spot in my heart. If there is a robot, there's a giant robot. You get extra points.
You're like, oh.
Giant robots, medium-sized robots. If they're fighting, that's
There's a
great.
microwave. I'm in.
I'm in. But yeah, I love a good robot, and I think like I hate the movie I Robot. I don't know if you know that.
I don't. I Robot. Is that the one with Will Smith? Asimov. I Robot's the one with Will Smith,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
they're all
the thing
freaking.
is, the whole book is like robots are scary, but you're mostly scared because you kind of dumb.
So you like Wally?
I fucking love Wally. Wally's one of my favorites
Why don't I get you a Wally keychain? Why don't you have a Wally keychain?
because it's not my favorite.
I gotta get you a little Wally to like be on your desk
I do
to,
like Wally.
to just hang out with you.
I have a lot of mixed feelings left over from Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, that whole thing.
We can do a Schnooks about Finding
We
Dory.
can. I need to talk about it.
I'm not gonna rewatch it. I would
Oh.
rather watch anything else.
I was writing Young Panda for it, and it was getting to be very long. And I was trying to watch the movie to get all of my facts right, and I was like, I can't even fucking look.
It's manipulating physics and complete logic for an animation film, a Disney film that is already like kooky and logistics are out of the door. It was
Yeah.
so unbelievable.
I just
It
think
was just awful.
it's not so much like the movie in itself, but just because of it being a take on Finding Nemo. Like Finding Nemo is amazing. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's one of my favorite children's stories, certainly. And I think that when they took what they did to it, it feels like it's a shame what they did. It's shameful, and it makes
It
me
is, and it
mad
was obviously
in
just clear
comparison.
to ride on the back of Finding Nemo to make another
Yeah.
shitty
Uh-huh.
Pixar movie. Oh, I want to
I
watch
can.
Soul. Soul
Oh,
too.
I watched Soul. Soul's excellent.
I know it's good. You know how I know it's good? Because Giacomo said it was good. So you know it's good.
Giacomo only gives recommendations to the highest quality films.
Well, this is the end of Two Schnooks.
Good night.
We talked about a lot of movies, and guess what? We talked about more movies. So, uh, Shaft, Sopranos, Candle,
Good
Yoga
and
Mat.
gather, pomegranate, dragon fruit, sparkling water.
Comforter in the back with Lubriderm next to the nightstands. That's Lubriderm.
How do you know?
Lubriderm. How do I know?
Yeah.
Because I know what Lubriderm looks like because I have Lubriderm in my bathroom. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you for watching. We'll see you in 3 months.